And joining us right now is Dr. Jonathan Javitt. He's the founder, director, and chief scientific officer of NRx Pharmaceuticals. Stock symbol, very important, NRXP. Dr. Javitt, if you could describe the drug for us.
So we're taking two drugs through the FDA. One is an FDA-approved form of intravenous ketamine, which is used for acute suicidality and depression. And the other is a pill, NRx 101, which is a longer-term drug that can be safely used at home, also for suicidal bipolar depression.
Dr. Jonathan Javitt is our guest. He's the founder, director, and CEO, or chief scientific officer of a company called NRx Pharmaceuticals. Stock symbol NRXP. You can go to the website nrxpharma.com. Greg, do you have, what's your name?
Dr. Javitt, it's Mike. It's all right. I'm curious. As far as depression in the United States, you know, we hear about this disease, or this is so many millions of people are affected by it. Where is depression as far as the chart and how many Americans are affected by it?
33 million Americans have depression. That's 1 in 10 people in the country. The CDC has just said that 3.4 million Americans every year form an active plan to kill themselves. More than 50,000 people are reported to die from suicide, but an awful lot of the people who die from suicide are reported to die from something else, like a car accident. So this is a very pervasive problem. Since we started this company, we've lost 2 founding shareholders and the son of a board member from suicide.
Oh my God.
Since we started this company, we've seen this over and over again in Hollywood celebrities and people you've never heard of. But every one of these people dies the same way. They die alone, and we aim to change that.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm going to say one thing. We're going to go over a little bit here. Look, you can't sell your house before you own it, and you can't sell your car before you own it, but you can sell stock before you own it. It's called short selling, and we have explained this before, and this is how it works. Let's say we are betting against gold, okay? And the exchange traded fund for gold is a symbol is GLD or IAU, either one, it's 2 stocks. And I say, look, I'm going to call my broker and say, I'm going to sell 1,000 shares of IAU. Say it's trading $100 a share. So I just sold $10,000. I don't own the shares yet, but I got $10,000 in my account. I got 2 days to deliver those shares, T plus 2. I'm hoping to if I'm betting against it, I'm hoping it's going to be at what, $80? Mm-hmm. I buy back for $8,000. I get to keep the $2,000. That's how shorting works. It's not a bad deal. It's a little sketchy. It's a lot of real risky, because what happened? It went from 100 to 500. Mm-hmm. As we're buying back at 500, I'd lose money. There is a thing in the market now called abusive short selling. There's also something called algorithmic trading, and it works like this. I was a trader on Wall Street. I don't think any of you other than James and Mike were born yet. Maybe Mark, and Mark's 75 years old. So you'd have, this is how it worked. Mike would call and say, I want to short 10,000 shares of XYZ. I got to borrow those shares off the market before I can sell those shares if I don't have an inventory. Mm-hmm. There's a computer screen that says, okay, who's got 10,000 shares of XYZ? I'm going to take those shares, put them on hold. I'm set. Took the shares, sold them for this client. 2 days later, buy the shares back, put them back in inventory. Okay? What happens if you don't do that part? What happens if you give me a short sell and I don't do this part? Oof. Well, it takes about 15 minutes, by the way, to do that part. I'm working on commission. I'm 31 years old. I'm smoking back-to-back cigarettes. I'm driving a bad BMW. I'm going for martinis at 3 in the afternoon. Is there any incentive for me to do it right if I get paid commission either way?
No.
So what happens if I sell short, but I don't actually borrow the shares? I just sold counterfeit shares. Abusive short selling. Regulators are not equipped in any way to battle this. You told your investors, Dr. Javitt, this week that people are shorting your stock with counterfeit shares. Did I describe that correctly, sir?
Yes, you did.
What are you doing about it?
So what's changed is all of a sudden the Federal District Court for the Southern District of New York has said that broker-dealers, the prime brokers that allow those naked short positions to persist on their books, are liable for the damage that occurs.
Exactly. And by the way, can I tell you this? Our guest, Les Goldman, from Northwest Biotherapeutics, who fairly is a client of mine in my investment banking business, filed a suit against Canaccord, Harrington, and who's the biggest one?
Citadel.
Citadel, thank you. And they came out with a judgment, actually a letter of opinion 2 weeks ago saying, if you're going to short a stock, you need to verify those shares exist. Changes the face of derivative trading for the history of the world. Suddenly, abusive short, it's going to take us 2 years to get there, but abusive short selling is off the table. Let me tell you what the alternate source is. Have you seen, sir, and I've looked at you, I know the answer to this, suddenly, December calls on your stock symbol NRXP. Have you seen January calls? Suddenly the options market is taking over where the counterfeit market took over. There's always this sense of, I feel like we're in the Tour de France. Did the Tour de France start off as like a cheating thing? They're smoking cigarettes, drinking wine, they're cutting courses. It's a big freaking cheating. It still cheats, right?
Who can cheat the best?
And it's still physically who can cheat the best. Jonathan, it must be maddening to you to have to battle this stuff because I don't talk about share prices. You've never heard me talk about share prices. Your share price is roughly, by the way, let's say this, outstanding shares times share price equal market cap. Market cap, same thing as saying valuation. Your valuation is roughly 20% of your real valuation right now, based upon a false number. You must be pulling your hair out. Do you have a strategy? Because I ask this of every company. I mean, you got a good head of hair there. Not for long.
Well, no, I've still got the hair, and yeah, I'm moving one foot in front of the other. Because at the end of the day, what cures the low share price is good data, and we're delivering good data.
But wait a second. So let me push back on that. Yes. The only reason the stock goes up is what? More buying than selling?
Yeah.
And the only reason the stock goes down is what? More selling than buying? And there's a million reasons to buy stock. However, you're not playing a level playing field. I mean, you could announce a cure for male pattern baldness.
Thank you, by the way, doctor.
Well, except here's what changes that playing field. If we actually get that ketamine drug approved, if we're actually selling it to patients this time next year, if we're actually putting a dividend in our shareholders' pocket, people are going to want that stock because they're going to want that income stream.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like to have you back on the air. You're a great guest, and I love what you're doing.
Work.
Jonathan, thank you so much, brother. We'll see you in a couple weeks here.
Those suicide stats.
Dr. Jonathan Javitt, founder, director, scientific officer of NRx Pharmaceuticals, stock symbol.
NRXP.
There you go. Big Biz Show coming up next.